Hi there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com here with match number 1 with our Mono Black Devotion. This is Keepable Hand. We do need to draw into subsequent, 3 lands in a row would be nice. Sign in Bloods, Read the Bones, things like that. We do have the Bile Blight to slow him down and double Hero's Downfalls, which is good. So we'll keep this. Our opponent does have to mulligan to 6, and he is thinking about going to 5, so that's good news for us. We all also are on the draw. This hand is more powerful in the draw. Oh, this is going to be gross. This is where Merciless Executioner is going to be a boss of a card because it forces him to sack it. I'm going to have to really play tight with the Bile Blight. He could actually get out of range for the Bile Blight with like an Ordeal of Thassa already, and then I could be in bad shape. If he decides just to go crazy and put another card out, and have his lands tapped out, then we absolutely will Bile Blight it. So Tranquil Cove gains him a life, and he's going to attack in. I hope he does Defiant Strike him here, as he will be back down to a 2-3, and we can get rid of this guy once and for all for the favorite Hoplite. So, again, I really want to draw into another land and a Merciless Executioner. So, Grey Merchant was a terrible, terrible draw. Didn't like seeing that. He's going to smartly just keep up like God's willings, I'm sure. And this is going to be nice because I can see what I can need to play around. So I'm going to Thoughtseize away any sort of protection card. Again, we need to hit a land drop next turn. Really, really bad. Thoughtseize is a very powerful card in this matchup. Like, I've played blue-white heroic I've played it a ton. So I'm actually thinking like the Hero of Ireos is Ireos is the more powerful card here. I mean, he'll be able to scry with the form, but we'll be able to 2-for-1 him. Helo's Pilgrim can actually go grab him. Something else to put on a guy. So maybe actually Helo's Pilgrim is the more powerful card. Well, it is quite weak, and I'm going to take the hero. And we know that he's got an Aqueous form and a Pilgrim to go tutor something up, and no way to protect his guy. So he no tricks here unless he draws into them. And we can easily just Bile Blight his dude. So he's going to throw the form out. Maybe, and do you know what? I probably should have cast the or taken the Helo's Pilgrim, and then he would have been forced to cast into his Hero of Ireos, and then I could have just taken out the favorite Hoplite with the form on it. So yeah, that probably would have been the better play. But let's just hope he didn't draw into a Feat of Resistance or a God's Willing, and then we should be fine because we'll 2-for-1 him here with a Bile Blight. So come on, dude, let's just hope for that non-top deck. But he can target with anything to give it... Yeah, we're going to use the more expensive Hero's Downfall right now. And hope that he didn't get that top deck. Alright, we're in great, great, great shape now. Because now he's got to cast the Helo's Pilgrim and probably go grab like a Stratus Walk, I would say, is what he's going to grab. Or in fact, he's probably just going to grab a Ordeal of Thassa, and then we can once again 2-for-1 him. So he did go get the Ordeal of Thassa, and I'm okay with just running out a Herald of Torment here, because this does what we need it to do. It's going to apply pressure back on him. We do need to draw into more lands. Squelching Leeches will be nice. The unfortunate part with our deck is that any sort of protection card is really good. And Ordeal Thassa on a Hero's Pilgrim is not the move he wants to do because he can't attack in this turn. There's a Battle-Wise Hoplite. And again, I don't know if he's drawn into any protection cards for the Battle-Wise Hoplite. This makes it a little bit interesting how I can do this now. So, again, God's Willing is the only card that can protect him against a Bile Blight. Well, I guess no, Johnny's Presence can also protect him from Hero's Downfall and Bile Blight. But I think I'd like to just get a Squelching Leeches out here and attacking with the Herald. Because we know he's got Ordeal of Thassa and 2 unknowns in his hand. And if I get Squelching Leeches out, then I can actually apply a ton of pressure if I do top deck that last land. So here it comes, the Squelching Leeches. And here comes the ordeal of Thassa, which allows him to scry. I'm going to make him tap out, though, and this could be brutal if he does have the pro. Because he still can't attack in very well, the Squelching Leeches. He's got to target it one more time and give it protection from black. So there's the God's Willing. And I'm definitely okay with this. I'm going to get hit for 4, and he's going to draw cards. But we'll be able to just get rid of this Battle-Wise Hoplite. He'll be drawing cards, but my guy's not going to die. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Worst case scenario is he gets another God's Willing off of the 2 cards and a land. So what I want to see is it comes into play tap land here. And it isn't. So we can just kill the Battle-Wise Hoplite, and we'll be able to race. Most likely. Because we're going to be able to do 7 damage here. And he missed a land drop. He was able to scry. How'd he scry? I don't even see it here in the text list how he scried. But anyway, we're down to an 8 though, so he could actually top deck into some silly stuff. But we'll just go ahead and hear his downfall right now. He invested a lot in that card. Do I need to attack? So 15. Yeah, I'll attack him with both. I don't think there's anything he can do on 1 turn to kill me. But he takes it, so that's interesting. So he needs his Heliod's Pilgrim to be a target. There's a favorite Hoplite. Mana is an issue for him. And a Battle-Wise Hoplite. So I'll actually attack him with both and see what he does, which will change my strategy. Because if he just takes both of them, then I'm in great shape. And he doesn't. So could I just die if I Gray Merchant here? Thing is, though, I can't. I have 5 mana, so he has double targets. Can he do that insane amount of damage in 1 turn is the question. If I don't leave up Bile Blight. So I can Bile Blight off the Battle-Wise Hoplite. Can he do 7 in 1 turn? And my gut tells me yes, he can. So the right play is just to throw out Gary here. Go back up to a 13, get him down to a 2. And then he's really on the... He could still easily win this, though. Makes me miss Duress in the format. As Duress would be an absolute powerhouse. Wouldn't cost me 2 life for the Thoughtseize, which is very relevant. Again, he does scoop so what he needed to do is draw into subsequent, like, he needed Defiant Strike, he needed some more lands, he needed a God's Willing to give it pro, and then try to come in for 13 damage. So anyway, again, the Typhoid Rats actually seem very good in this matchup. I usually don't like the... See, Drown in Sorrows are actually okay too, because no, he'll get out of range very easily. I do like the Murderous Cuts. It's really hard with the balance between removal that you want to use. Cure is really awkward as well because it's easy for him to get out of range with the Cure. But it gives me like a turn 2 after he's dropped his turn 2 to take care of it. And I'm actually thinking like cards like Palace Siege in this matchup particularly want to go... Like Erebos wants to go away for sure. So that's an easy cut. And in all honesty, I think these Sign-in Bloods need to go away too. Thoughtseize is great. And even Herald of Torment. Well, it's a card I can bestow onto my Agent of the Fates, which might be okay. But I'm going to cut 2 of them. And then we're left with this little list here. So we want the whips. Our goal is to get a whip out. But the options here are to bring in the Drown in Sorrows, which might be useful. They might be able to kill off... Like, if he has a lot of creatures, he'll only be able to choose which one he wants to save and which one he doesn't. And I just don't think Cure is big enough. We need 3 toughness or to guarantee we kill it. So I'm thinking this is my line here. And in all honesty, I could actually... the argument for Stain the Mind, getting rid of Ordeal of Thassa, is also not a bad option. But it's something I think we can't race. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this. So we don't have the card draw, though, is the problem with this deck. I just need to 1-for-1 him really well, because I don't think I can afford to like sign in blood myself. So here's a decent hand. We do have a Palace Siege. Once again I want Merciless Executioner. It is the best card by far against this deck, because he doesn't have anything for sack. He has like the heal of emissaries you can get out, but I can just take care of those like Bile Blights. And he puts a card on top of his library, so he absolutely likes the top of his library. And we do get a first turn play, though, with the Typhoid Rats, which is awesome. Because that's just going to play defense for a while. And if he does put out a 2-drop here, I will immediately Bile Blight it. Yeah, that is gone. And we'll get in there for 1. So we do, once again, need to draw into lands. And maybe I need to rethink my land count, as we do need to hit 5 lands quite consistently. And maybe I am overstretching with the Palace Sieges. But there's our 3rd land. So let's go ahead and attack in once more with the Typhoid Rats. Agent of the Fates is once again an incredible card versus him. Even though, like, if I have to use a Bile Blight on an Agent of Fates, that's actually not too bad. Because it will usually end up getting rid of multiple cards that he has to throw on one guy. Like, he's going to have to try to go all in to win this game. I'm very far ahead at this point. There's Agent of Fates number 2. All my guys have Death Touch, which means he has to give his guys protection or evasion. And what he's trying to do, I think, is establish enough mana to actually protect his guy. So I'll just go on the aggression here. I'm going to make him start to be way more proactive. And, you know, utilize his mana. Every life with the Flooded Strand, I think he might have actually got flooded in this game. You don't want to see 5 lands. The good thing about this enchantment-based deck is with like stringing Ordeal of Thassa, the more lands the merrier, and Defiant Strikes. But Swamp, of course, was the best card in the entire world we could have drawn into, because we have double Squelching Leeches. And I wonder if he's using the Indestructible card that also exiles target creature with toughness 4 or greater, because that is absolutely useless right now. And we'll come out with the Squelching Leeches, number 1. Yep, and there's the concession. I just don't think that he had any creature. That's the problem with the deck. I think maybe he shouldn't have been so hasty of getting his 2-drop out, especially with the amount of lands that he had in his hand. I think you play, you know, tap land, and then keep up the Defiant Strike. And then it plays with my head, too, because I don't want to Bile Blight it, because then he, God willing, gets value out of it, puts a counter on it, and then I'm just in this weird position trying to deal with now a 3/3 that is out of range for Bile Blight, because any target then gets it to a 4/4. And yeah, so when you're playing this deck with the white blue heroics, sometimes you just have to keep up your dudes. But I think he had a bad hand, and that's very typical for a deck that wants to use about 30% land, 30% creatures, 30% ways to pump up your creatures. You're ended up with a lot of hands that are not keepable, because you get, again, like with this hand, obviously he had a mulligan, then he's stuck with a bunch of lands and a creature and maybe 1 spell, and he's like, okay, that's fine, I guess. And then second turn Bile Blight, he's done, and there's no way coming back from it. So UI Hero, it can be a very explosive good deck. I tend to not really like decks like that just because of how volatile they can be. But I have been known to play the UI Heroics from time to time when the metagame... I think right now it would be a great time, because it's very good, especially Seeker of the Way is very good against the Boss Sly. But I'll quit rambling. We'll go on to the next match. This has been Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Playing on a Budget. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Gathering Magic and check out our Playing on a Budget playlist, which contains every episode. Thanks again, and hope to see you soon.